How you guys doing? So this live stream will probably be shorter than my usual ones, which are usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours long. So I won't waste any time. I'll get straight into it. And it was an email that I received um, from a lady who was concerned about her son, and had emailed me asking for some help and advice because she said her son is 22 and he doesn't really go out the house much. She said he hasn't had a girlfriend. He doesn't have any friends. Um, he's not working at the moment, and all he really does is stay at home and play video games. She's really concerned about him, and it's unfortunate, because it doesn't surprise me today with this kind of real problem that we're seeing with men with mental health, with anxiety, social anxiety, men of all ages who are not really coming out of the house. Social media plays a big part because of the addiction to it. And the more you get addicted to video games or YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, the harder it can become to go out and motivate yourself to meet people. But anyway, I'm not going to waste too much time focusing on the problem. We're going to get into the solution because that's the most important thing here. We can moan and complain. We can blame this. We can blame that. We're not going to get anywhere like that. So I'm going to speak from experience, what's transformed my life, and what's helped so many of my clients. So we'll get into that. So hold on a second. Just to remind you guys as well, if you're interested in coming on my weekend program, I've got 2 spaces left. I can't wait. It's this weekend. So I've already got 2 students booked. One is a student who's doing my 1 year long-term program, and another student who done a weekend program before. So this is the perfect program for getting out of that rut of being isolated, not having confidence, not being social, because we're going to spend the whole weekend socializing in real life, building confidence. It's amazing. So if any of you want to come on that, it's still not too short notice, not too late. It's next weekend. Send me an email and I'll let you know if there are spaces available. They could go tonight, tomorrow. As I said, I've already got 2 people booked on the program, including me, free. So let me know. If you can't make that weekend program, one of you asked me for a new date. I've got another date in April, the 1st and the 2nd will be another weekend program. So if you can't make this weekend, that's fine. You can book on the April program, which is the 1st and the 2nd. I've also got 2 dates for my confidence meetups that I've been running that have been going so well. They're brilliant. And I'll give you the dates to those as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a link to the meetup. You can click join meetup, and then you'll see the dates. Right. So let's get into this. Um, so yeah. So social anxiety and confidence. So how to overcome social anxiety by transforming your lifestyle and your routine, and I'll explain how you do that. So, first and foremost, before you take action and face your fears of talking to people, going to the gym, and all these things, which are great, you need a goal. If you don't have a goal, then you're not going to be motivated. And that's how I changed my life many years ago. That's how I built this successful platform. And in the second chapter of my life, after having a mental breakdown, that's how I overcame it. Goal setting has been around for a long time. Why? Because it works. And a lot of young people and people of all ages, of all different ages, they don't set goals. And I'll tell you why people don't set goals is because they're scared to face the fear. Because when you set a goal, you're going to have to face your fears. But if you set the right goal, the goal, if you really want to achieve something and it means everything to you, you're not going to make any excuses. So if you can't think of a goal, I suggest that you sit down, you go for a walk, you speak to a friend, or you take a confidence coaching program, or you book a session with me and really figure out what your goal is, because we all need goals in life. We all do, not just people who have social anxiety or depression or who are socially awkward. Everybody needs a goal in life, because if you haven't got a goal, you're going to leave it up to your mind to live your life for you, and it's going to be negative. You're going to get anxiety. So everybody needs a goal in life. I refuse to agree with anyone who says, well, I don't need a goal. People don't need goals. It's crazy. Everybody needs some kind of goal to give them a focus in life, to give them a motivation. Guys, you can put your questions in the box if you have any. So, you know, it's really simple of what you need to do, but I understand, um, this mother that reached out and her son, because it's really hard when people are stuck in that rut. I've been there myself, and I had a I had an email today. One of you come on the live stream earlier on. I get emails all the time. It's no surprise to me where guys are saying, I don't have any friends. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have a social life. I don't really come out of my house. You got to break out of that rut, and you've got to keep listening to motivational messages so you can override the negative conversation, because that's what's keeping you in this rut. Anyone in this situation, it's negative thinking, negative emotions. That you're listening to fear too much, and you're listening to your negative beliefs about yourself. And most of these struggles that men are having come from financial stress, relationship stress, self-image stress, low self-esteem, trauma from the past. They've got so many things going on that are beating them down and making them feel depressed and paranoid and anxious. That's what starts to eat away. And that's what makes people come to the conclusion that they'd rather avoid people. Because I understand it's hard to be around people when you don't feel good about yourself, which is why I keep saying on this channel, you've got to get down to the gym, you've got to exercise consistently, and really enjoy it. I love training, I enjoy it. And you've got to improve your diet if you want to succeed in this area and get out of this rut with depression and not wanting to feel like being around people. And of course it's hard. Accept that it's hard. It's hard for everyone. It's hard for me. But if you change your mindset and you accept that it's hard and you just take the first step and you build that habit, you build that consistency, eventually you won't care that it's hard. You won't give a damn. Do you know why? Because you'll enjoy it. You'll make progress. And the more progress you make, the more motivated you become. And the more progress that you make and the more motivated that you become, the more confidence you gain. And when you start to gain confidence, most of your issues around mental health, social anxiety, social awkwardness, paranoia, negative thoughts, negative beliefs, feelings of low self-esteem and low self-worth, they start to. So, you know, the solution to most of these problems is goal setting and taking. Setting goals and achieving goals is how anybody builds confidence and self-esteem. And that's why I set a new goal for myself a couple of years ago, and I've pretty much achieved it. And my goal was to lose 20 pounds, change my diet, get in fantastic shape, get back into the gym, enjoy it, which I love, and then educate people that follow me, friends, clients, and motivate and inspire as many men to do the same, because I know the effects it has on mental health. Fit body, fit mind. When you're fit and you're in shape and you're feeling confident, you have a lot more confidence when you're around people. It's easier to speak. It translates, it transfers onto everything in your life. So it's no surprise to me that someone who loses 20 pounds and changes their diet and is eating healthy consistently for 6 months to a year is gonna have a better chance at getting a girlfriend. It's no surprise to me that someone who does that is going to start to make more money. It's no surprise to me that someone that loses 20 pounds or gets in shape, changes their diet and starts working out and socializing is going to overcome social anxiety. Is going to be able to live their dreams. So this whole um, mentality starts off with the very basic fundamentals of goal setting. And when I started out and I was struggling in my early 20s with all the issues that this young man is struggling with, this mother that emailed me about her son who's 22, I had the same problems that he had. I was stuck at home. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't have many friends. I had a few friends. I didn't socialize. I didn't exercise because I was depressed and I was frightened of social interactions. I was afraid of people judging me. I was afraid of being awkward. I was afraid of being hurt. I was afraid of being bullied. I had all those psychological fears that millions of men and all of you, pretty much all of you who come on this channel, most of you are going through right now. I know it's hard. It's hard to admit it to yourself. It's hard to talk about it but you've got to, if you want to overcome it, you've got to have that courage. You've got to have the guts to talk about it and then to actually do something about it, because talking about it is the first step. It is important to speak to someone, anyone that you trust, that you can get it out to relieve you of the pain and the stress and the sadness that it's causing you. But that's not enough to fully overcome it. You've got to actually take action, which is why I've said it before and I mean it. And I know a lot of men don't believe this about themselves. Every single man's got a purpose. Every single man has got a skill, something that he is very good at doing. But to get to that point of believing that and living that, he's got to be accountable. He's got to face his fears. So there's only so much that I can do for you or anybody. You've got to want to help yourself. I remember my dad saying to me many years ago, my dad was right. One of my close friends, my closest friend growing up, was really struggling, who I love, with mental health problems. My best friend growing up. And I did everything that I could to help him. I went and visited him where he was staying. I stayed with him. I took him out. I tried to speak to him. It got to a point where he didn't want the help anymore. He didn't want help from professionals. He didn't want help from his family. And my dad said, look, I know it's hard for you because you love your friend and we love him. We loved him. But you're going to have to just leave him, let him go, because it's going to drag you down. You can't help someone who doesn't want the help. It's going to make you sick. And I realized that it took me a long time to realize that, as much as most of us don't agree with it, if someone is consistently rejecting help, then if they're an adult, there's not much you can do. I guess all you can do is pray for them. I believe in God. So it was sad for that to happen, and I kept trying to help. And eventually, um, my friend's mother reached out to me and said, can you just give it one last try? And I said, I promise I will. So I found out where he was living. I went to his hostel. I rang the bell, and he wouldn't come and see me. What could I do? I spoke to the people, the professionals there. I said, look, can you just tell him that I love him, and if he feels like it, I'll take him for a coffee. And they said, we're sorry, he doesn't want to see you. That's what can happen if you don't look after your mental health and you don't get out the house. And but look, it's hard, people can do it because I've done it and I've helped many people to do it. And obviously, some people on this channel are not they're not as bad as that, but it can get that bad. It can get really bad. But the good news is it can get very good if you take my advice. And the advice is it's simple, but it takes a lot of courage to apply it. So the first one is communication. You've got to communicate with someone that you're suffering and that you're struggling. That's the first step to getting some relief and saving yourself and all of these issues and isolation. Are you guys commenting in the box? And I just make sure. Sometimes the chat don't work, and I don't want to be check on my phone. I don't want to be missing. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do now, anyway, right? I'm going to share all the things that have helped me to overcome this problem and continue to be, to be happy, be healthy and confident. And then I'm going to go through the things that I teach clients, and you guys are free to do these things, because what I've realized is I'm learning. I'm always learning. I've been teaching for almost 11 years, and I've learned that sometimes the more you push people, the more they resist. They won't listen to you. They won't get the help. Sometimes if you just tell the truth, share your story, people get inspired, and then they're like, you know what, I'm going to go and do it. Everyone is different. Some people need to spend money. They need to get a mentor. And I'm one of those people and it will help them. If they invest money, the money will make them change. Some people are different. They're reluctant. They don't like people telling them what to do. They don't like people trying to inspire them. So you just got to respect them and say, okay, I'm not gonna tell them anything. I'm gonna leave them. That's their choice. Some people um, are like my client Phil. They're just so driven. They're so committed, and they're at a point where they want the help. They will listen to someone like me who has experience, who respects them, who will tell them the truth, who's not afraid to offend them because you're asking me and I'm going to tell you. And if you're paying me and you do my program, I'm going to give it to you straight because I want to change your life. Right. So let's start off right from the start, right from the problem. The problem is in the house, stuck in the house, afraid to come out the house. I've been there myself. I understand. I understand all what the guys are going through. Paranoia, the fear of leaving the house in case someone looks at you, judges you, thinks you're weird or you're strange or you're awkward. That's one of the fears. The next one is the pressure of being a man and all the expectations, the financial pressure of feeling that you should have money or need to make money. Second pressure of having a loving relationship. You should be in love. You should have a girlfriend. All that mental pressure from society and your own thoughts. The next pressure of feeling that you should be confident, that you shouldn't be awkward around people, that you shouldn't have these issues, and you feel ashamed and you beat yourself up. That's the next sort of mental pattern that guys are going through. Then there's the trauma of the past, things that have happened to you, bullying, abuse, shame, all that kind of stuff that you're dwelling on, that you're angry about, that you can't stop obsessing about. So you're dealing with that as well, on top of all these other pressures. Then there's social media, going on social media, comparing yourself to people on Instagram that are successful, or they're projecting that. They might not be, but they post stuff online. You compare yourself, you say, I'm not living that sort of lifestyle, I'm a loser. If that's not true, but you tell yourself that. So the more you entertain this conversation, the worse you feel, the more anxiety you start to experience. And then it gets to a point where you're not motivated to go out. And that's where the bad eating comes in, porn addiction, um, and just kind of wanting to escape with video games, or too much time on any sort of what's sorry, internet's a bit slow. Let's fix it. So this is the challenge. This is the mental conversation that so many men are going through, of all ages, not just in their early 20s, but it can be all ages, my age, 30, 40, 50, 60 plus. So when you're on your own and you're at home, it feels like a nightmare. It's not as bad as you think it is, but when you're on your own, you think it is, because you don't have anyone to talk to. You can't. You're stuck in your head. You're in that perpetual pattern of negative thinking, and then on top of that, which was a big challenge for me when I was struggling, the emotions. So you're dealing with the negative thoughts and you're dealing with these heavy negative emotions. So it becomes a mental and emotional prison. You are technically, you've put yourself in a prison. You've isolated yourself in a flat. You could be in a palace. It doesn't matter. You could be in a little shoebox. You could be in a massive apartment. If you're depressed and you're having terrible anxiety and you're not socializing, it's not a nice place to be. Obviously, if you're in a great place, then you can be happy in any. All right, mate, good to see you. So when you're in that place, it becomes lonely, it becomes frightening, and then when people think about leaving the house, it's like they get overwhelmed. That's how I used to feel. I was like, when I would think about public speaking, it felt like death. The thought of me thinking about asking a woman out, it was just too much of it just felt too scary. Or the thought of making money or going to a job, or sometimes even being around family who I loved and trusted. You just get afraid of everything. Become afraid of your own shadow, literally. So all these thoughts, all these emotions, all these pressures that you're putting on yourself, or the society that we're living in. That's why you need a heartfelt goal. You need such a passion to want to fight your way and get out of this. So, basics, what I tell anyone, I've been saying it for years, I'll say it again. Got to get up, you've got to take a shower, put some clean clothes on, wash the dishes. I know you're not, I know it's horrible. You're going to hate it. You're not going to want to do it. I've been in that mindset. Please take my advice. I'm doing the best I can. Wash the dishes, clean the apartment, put clean clothes on, listen to some music. I always like the Rocky music or whatever motivates you. Rocky, whatever music makes you feel good. Leave the house. Leaving the house is success. Success is overcoming your own fears and doing the small action steps. Leave the house, go for a walk. Go for a walk wherever you're living for an hour. After you've done a walk for an hour, come back home and then you can chill out. Start with the basics, the habit building, goal setting. Do the same thing the next day. As you start doing this more, you know what you start to do? You start to gather up a certain amount of courage. And the courage that you're gathering up is the courage to start meeting people or speaking to people, whether it's family to begin with, your immediate friends, or if you don't have any friends, don't worry about that right now. And if you can, this is a lot to ask for, but I'll ask you guys to do it. Stop judging yourself and stop beating yourself up for where you're at. Don't focus on where you're at. Focus on where you're gonna go to. So don't focus on, oh, I don't have a girlfriend. I should have a girlfriend. I'm this age, or I don't have any money. I'm broke, or I should be confident. No, you shouldn't. That's not going to help you right now. Focus on where you're going, where you're going to get to. Set the goals. Write the goals down. I would love, or I am going to get a girlfriend in the future. I am going to make money. I'm going to be financially successful. I'm going to become confident. I want to be confident with people. I want to be a good person. Write the goals down. Don't listen to your mind. Your mind's going to tell you that you're not going to achieve them. It's not possible. It's not true. It's lying to you. The mind lies. It tricks you. The anxiety, the depression, the trauma, the psychological shadows, and all those different um, defense mechanisms are lying to you. Write the goals down. Listen to my videos if you want. If you resonate with me, you trust me. Listen to Les Brown as well, one of my first mentors. Listen to 30 minutes of Les Brown every day. And if you can, listen to 30 minutes of me every day. Or anybody that resonates with you. Listen to 30 minutes of David Goggins. Pick whoever you can connect with. If it's me, great. If it's Les, wonderful. Find someone who's honest, who lives what they teach, who can help you, who has overcome adversity in their life and who wants to help you. Listen to 30 minutes a day. It will start to purify your mindset. It will purify your spirit and your heart and start to eradicate these demons that are putting you into this place of they're putting you into this. Now, once you can do the simple steps, which I'll go over again, waking up, cleaning the apartment, washing the dishes, cleaning the flat, putting clean clothes on, listening to positive music or motivate. Everybody on this channel is in different places. I've always loved that, always works wonders for me, preferably the park. Parks, London parks are great, or wherever you live in nature. A long walk, my dad was always right. He always said to me when I was younger, if I was hyperactive or stressed, or I had a lot of energy, a long walk. Now, my dad always take me out on a long walk, so that's been installed in me from a young kid, and I do it all the time, which is probably why when I coach a lot of my clients, we go for a walk. These days, I do a lot of sitting down over coffee, mentoring them, but the walk is therapeutic. So it's all about the simple things. And you might ask yourself, well, how is all this going to lead to me getting a girlfriend or making money or breaking out social anxiety? It's exactly what is going to help you to achieve these things, because it's all about getting into the habit of setting goals, achieving goals. building a positive habit every day, little habits. If you can do the little things, then you can do the big things. Like one of my years ago, my previous girlfriend, the love of my life, she said something, and I've always remembered it. She said, I'm laughing, it's not in this way. The little things are the big things. Meaning, if you can do small goals, like wash the dishes and take the trash out when you're not feeling good, then at some point you can build a successful business. You can lose 20 pounds and stop eating crap food that's bad for you, and start eating healthy food. You can do it. All of you guys can do it. I know you can do it 100%. Why do I know? Why have I got so much different 20 of you? I'm no better or worse. And I used to be in that position. And I was listening to Les Brown, and he was telling me the same thing at the time. I didn't believe it until eventually I did start to believe it. And then when I believed it, I achieved it. When you achieve it, you believe it more. So it's about getting the basic, fundamental those goals. Every time you achieve a little goal, it gives you more confidence and motivation, and you start going towards the big goals. So that would really help. Now, when you feel ready, this is in your own time. This is whenever you guys feel ready. Go on meetup.com. It's a great platform. It runs thousands of social events, and I've got my own event on there. You guys are welcome to join mine and come to my free events. I'm telling you, man, I know you're afraid. I know how you're feeling. I've been through it. You don't want to make eye contact. You don't want to be nervous and anxious around people. You're afraid of it. Ignore it. Get to a social meetup. Practice the mindset that I teach, which is get excited about being uncomfortable around people. Get excited about everything that you're afraid of. Flip it on its head. Turn all of your phobias and insecurities and fears into a fantastic opportunity to grow and overcome them. Accept it. I say it to my clients all the time. Accept that you're nervous to make eye contact with me or other people. Accept that you are afraid of stuttering. Accept it 100%. Own it. Stop caring what people think. Watch how this is going to change your life. Eventually, you're going to overcome it. So you've got to change the way you're thinking, and you've got in this prison is negative, pessimistic thinking every single day. And if you think negative things for hours and hours, eventually you will act on those negative thoughts. And most of the time, the worst thing people do in regards to making social anxiety worse is they don't do anything. That's one of the worst addictions that I've seen in this generation, and I had it. It's the addiction to not taking action. That's what messes you up. So when you change your mindset, which I said earlier, when you turn fear into excitement, when you turn social anxiety into an opportunity to grow and improve, and when you are acceptant of these nervous tics, you change the way you behave, and then you get yourself to an event. So a lot of it is about changing the way that you view fear. And of course, you're not going to have these issues forever. You're not. And I'm saying this not to show off, but to show you proof that I know what I'm talking about. The reason why I'm able to speak this well and so with such confidence and certainty and honesty and such skill without running out of things to say, without stuttering and getting awkward, is because I did all the things I'm telling you guys to do. I lived the teaching and I failed it, but I never quit till I succeeded. I had all the issues, the eye contact problems, the stuttering, the freezing up, I refuse to let social anxiety blackmail me, bully me, and keep me in depression and make me broke financially, broke spiritually, broke mentally and emotionally. I refused. I refused. I refused. I fought with everything, with every bit of my heart. And that's how I developed these skills to speak. And I know all of you could speak with confidence. You can do it. But it takes work, it takes discipline, and you've got to have the right goals. And you've got to want it so badly that you're willing to do whatever it takes within, obviously, being a positive person and not, upsetting or harming anyone else, but within working hard. So it's a simple, healthy diet and finding a goal, a passion, something that you love. Ira doesn't enjoy anything in life unless he's clinically depressed, right? I can understand that. But generally, if he's not, everyone's got something that they enjoy doing. Something where, where you have to leave the house. Right. So moving forward onto the exercises that have changed my life and that you guys are welcome to try. They do wonders for confidence if you commit to them. In no chronological order, swimming. Swimming is amazing. Swimming is so good for relaxing the body and the mind, and it works every single muscle. And the reason why swimming is so good is because you've got to leave the house. You got to face that fear of being in public and being around people. So it gives you confidence, helps you to express your body. Boxing. I mean, I've said it so many times. I put lots of clips on the channel. Boxing, no words. I'll leave it as that. I've got no words to describe how boxing will help with you building the mindset and the toughness and the character to face your fear of people and social interactions. We'll leave it as that. Moving on to the absolutely amazing for improving not just your physique, which is great, but your mental, the mindset, your emotions, your character. That's really wonderful. So you've got swimming, you've got boxing, you've got bodybuilding. Now, one that I love, which is Raw, doesn't cost any money for people that can't go gym. Get some running trainers on, get your kit on, and go for a run outside in a park or somewhere safe around your area. Go for a 30-minute run or 40 minutes. Amazing. You go for a run, you feel like a different person when you come back. You come back, you're sweating, you take a shower, and you make some nice food, and then you can settle down and relax. Calms the mind down. I know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about because I live what I teach. And I've been doing these things for years. And so I know that these things work. Next thing that's really good for exercising, for people that don't really resonate with weight training or they don't like boxing or swimming, go for a 2-hour walk. Going for a long walk, it does it. It will burn fat and it's for your mind. And you'll be tired when you get back home. And it gets you out the house. So that's amazing. And if some of you need to see visual clips to get motivated, look on the channel. I've put hundreds of videos of me doing boxing, weight training. If you go on my Instagram, I've posted up healthy meals, the meals that I cook, so you can copy them, use it. You're welcome to do it. So that's really a great thing to do. They're all the different exercises and, cardiovascular or anything else that you want to do, classes, yoga, spin classes. There's so many exercises that you can do. Pick one. Now, the next thing, let me just make sure I've covered all the things. Yeah, the next one is, I would say, I know this is hard for a lot of you, and it was hard for me starting out. Whenever you go into a shop or a supermarket, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, or Starbucks, whatever supermarket or shop, push yourself, make a point to just say a couple more words to the person at the checkout, just to improve your social confidence, just to get out of your head, just to feel proud of yourself. So instead of just walking in and just not saying anything and just putting your items down on the checkout, paying for it and walking off, just ask the person, like, how's your day? How you doing? You all right? How's your day going? People appreciate good manners, and good manners build self-esteem, improves your social skills. When you leave, say, have a good day. Get into a habit of just speaking a little bit more at every opportunity you get throughout your day, whether it's in Starbucks, coffee shop, supermarket. These simple habits build confidence, motivation, momentum. And when we start adding up these habits, we're building, what are we building here? We're building a confident person, someone who wakes up in the morning, showers every day, which isn't a bad thing, hygiene, washes the dishes, cleans the apartment, takes the trash out, goes for a walk, goes to the gym, goes into the shops, buys healthy food, says hello to the people in the checkout. How was your day? Uh, just doing those things, what I said, is going to make you a more confident person. There are simple, fundamental, basic things that people can easily neglect. And I know because I've been in that situation. Now, on top of that, once you get more confident and comfortable doing these basic things, then you can move on to the bigger things like figuring out how you can get a relationship, how you can, build a business or do a job that you love or just get employed, which would be a big deal for someone who's not working, or for people that are working and are earning good money, but they're having all these social problems. You can build on that. So, this is pretty much the advice I gave to this mother that was concerned about her son and reached out because she tried to speak to him and she can't get through to him. She said that he won't go gym. She's concerned because he has never had a girlfriend. He doesn't really socialize. So I said to her, he's welcome to come to my free confidence event, and if he could go to the gym. Now I'm not telling her anything that she kind of hasn't told her son. I also said, sometimes people need a bit of space until they feel ready. So I'm patient on this channel. This is not a short-term project. I've dedicated my life to doing this. This is why I'm passionate about it. So yeah. Moving on to the next thing. For those of you that can't do this on your own, invest in a mentor. Get in touch with me for a program. I offer paid coaching, different programs. I do online coaching and I do in-person coaching. So for those people that can't invest, stick to the free YouTube videos, the free meetups. For those of you that want to take that next step and invest in your future, get in touch with me for mentorship. My email is below all my videos. Send me an email. If you really want to work with me and inquire about the coaching, you'll find a way of reaching out. But for those of you also listening, these are the habits. A lot of people, intellectualization, most of the time, these things are bollocks. They don't work because people have got too much knowledge and they don't take the action. They don't do the things that have been around since time began that work. Concrete things that work, like socializing, exercising, eating a healthy diet, improving relationship skills, social skills, business and entrepreneurial skills, and being a better person and practicing being honest and respectful and treating people how you want to be treated. These are the things, but because these things are so obvious, people just overlook them, and people want to look. It still don't work because people are not going to apply it because they're spending so much time on the theory, intellectualizing, tweeting, commenting. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to improve. You need physical action. You need to do the basic things that are common sense. But these things are hard because it takes discipline. It takes discipline to get up every morning and fix the bed, take a shower, clean. Although, like, if I done a video and I said, amazing discovery on the title, most amazing discovery ever, and most people are going to click on the video and be like, yeah, what's he going to say? If I said, if you clean your apartment every day and wash the dishes and took a shower and put clean clothes on, you become a better person. Most people think I'm crazy because it's so obvious they won't be impressed by it. That's why they're not successful, because they neglect simple things that work if you work it. And that's what I'm trying to say. It's not rocket science. Making money is not that complicated. Getting a relationship, I mean, it can be challenging to a certain degree if you want a certain person, but generally it's about communicating and socializing and being honest, facing the fears. Training and losing weight is not complicated. It's easy, but it's hard in that it takes discipline and sacrifice and dedication. But what you've actually public speaking skills, it works, man. But being a victim, it's not going to help you. It's going to make it worse. You've got to be honest with yourself and say, I've got to change my life here. And if you can't do it, then you've got to speak to someone and ask for help. There's no shame in that. That's a smart, strong thing to do. So I think this is also quiet in your house. Go to the park. I think parks are the best. Nature with the birds in the lake, nice people. Sit down, relax for a second. Stop, driving yourself crazy with stress. Have a really think about what you want to do in your life. And if you're willing to take the action. And again, I would encourage you to listen to stories of people like Tyson Fury, Good, honest people that have struggled with mental health, anxiety, social anxiety, and overcome it. Listen to David Goggins. Obviously, you're listening to me. I really appreciate that. Listen to Les Brown. Um, I'd recommend you listening to Grant Cardone, someone who was a former drug addict, amazing man who turned his life around and became a billionaire, and not just that, changed his life. You know, it's helped a lot of people. It's certainly helped me. Listen to people who live what they teach, who have come from a struggling place. Whoever motivates you, it doesn't have to be those names. I'm just giving you guys some ideas. And you have to stop caring about failing or you're not going to get nowhere. I've wrote this down today. We're going to end on this affirmation. I was walking in London and this came to me. I thought this is really beautiful. It's very simple again, and we'll end on this. Failure is better than not trying. That says it all. You know, you'll be awkward, but if you keep going, you don't give up, you will become confident and relaxed. With the eye contact, the speaking, I did it. And different things that I've shared today will all facilitate one another. The cleaning the apartment will give you the confidence and the courage and the faith and the strength to go to the gym. The training down the gym and the dieting will give you the strength and the self-belief and the mindset and the confidence